So away we go. It's cold, but ideal for footy. Gardner goes up and thumps it down. Met solidly. There was Crawford down. He went. It spills wide. Treleaven popped it up. Taken by Donnelly inside the centre square. Probing kick. Deep into attack. Hay did well. Finds it on the ground. Breaks away. In the back pocket. Across the goal face. This is Barlow. Barlow out towards half-back. Thompson. A runner is loose further afield. Chips the ball in that direction. Harford. Harford tried to go back to a teammate who's met very solidly. That's Taylor. Put down by McKenna. And Taylor very slow to get up.
And there's nothing untowards whatsoever. It's just that Blue is in the right spot there and Richard Taylor is in the wrong spot.
Oh.
Yeah, one of those situations, if he had taken the ball, McKenna would have still hit him. He didn't take possession, and McKenna was probably committed to the bump and hit him pretty hard.
Now, did he take down McKenna's number, the umpire there? I think he may have.
No, all umpires have been over in this situation. One umpire's run down following Guy McKenna.
Yeah, I mean, on our replay, we could clearly see that it was done with the upper part of the shoulder and the arm. There was no elbow raise or anything like that. So there definitely has been a report. You can see that book's all going back down the socks now from the umpires. But there it is there. The elbow just raises after contact, which is a normal momentum follow-through type thing. But poor Richard Taylor doesn't look too well at all.
Meantime, the kick is taken after a 50. And the mark is held by Thompson, who's impressing everybody in recent weeks. Likely time.
He started well. He's got away from Gardner on 2 occasions already, which Malthouse won't be too happy with.
45-degree angle. Nathan Thompson missing to the left. It's got the carry across the line of behind, so the opening score. The Hawks on the board.
There's Richard Taylor sitting there now. Michael Colliker alongside him, and just down to our left from our commentary position, the Hawthorn coach's box. They've settled things down now. They're happy with their matchups. Umpire Derek Humphrey-Smith asking Ashley McIntosh to bring the ball back in. Does to this near side. Gardner up from behind. Good strong mark. And Worsfold just mentioned that Nathan Thompson was getting away. That's not a bad comeback answer there from Michael Gardner. Kicks it long in towards the centre. They'll have to prop underneath this one. Chick takes the free kick. Kemp interferes, coming back into the contest. So Hawthorn doing the attacking. The Eagles went forward once, but Jonathan Hay turned them back. Since then, it's been in the forward half for Hawthorn. Rodden out wide to Joel Smith. Over the last month, starting to refine some form. Good kick. There's Holland right in front. Takes it. Hawthorn getting inside the 50. Nick Holland will be important this evening. If he can take some marks, as he has done right throughout, the leading mark taker for the Hawks, he will become an important player. It's 96th game of AFL football. From right on 50, the second shot at goal for Hawthorn. This one doesn't make the distance. Thompson's there, a little toe poke, gets it on back out. Reed swoops upon it. Drives it back on out towards the boundary line. Bounces once towards the line and runs over again. Boundary throwing. Chris Barlow couldn't get it in time.
Must-win game tonight for the West Coast Eagles. They can't afford to falter. Conditions, as I mentioned, very good. Very still. Currently 13 degrees, going down to 11. Tossed in. Robert went with a backhand. It bounced off Rock. Reed into the path of Rintoul. Left it behind. Rock picks it up. Nicely done. Leckers off his step, kicks inside the 50. Jakovic, good grab going back. That should be a great contest. Jakovic and Holland. Jakovic, broadcast side with a high ball. Gardner didn't touch it. White does. Feeds it back to Rintoul. Rintoul across the body towards half forward. Missed down there by Crode. Onto the loose ball is Gehrig. Magnificent pass. Cummings. 77 on the season, within scoring range.
A sensational play. Fraser Gehrig used his body extremely well. Good shepherd by Philip Matura to give him the space to swing onto that left foot. He did a great job at fullback on Matthew Lloyd last week, Fraser Gehrig. now up forward, making a pretty tall forward line for the Eagles alongside Mitchell White, Andrew Donnelly and Scotty Cummings, and that's dragged a couple of the Hawthorn players back. Trent Crowe forced to go back and pick up Gehrig.
But at 6 goals against the Hawks back in round 5. Tight angle. Good looking boot though. First goal of the night.
That's the sort of start the West Coast Eagles have been looking for. They have been starting fairly slowly, fairly sluggishly. They've obviously come out again tonight, try and get a good start on the board. Get that early goal forward. We've seen Guy McKenna come through hard. A couple of hard physical clashes already. Hawthorn are a good running side, there's no doubt about that. They're going to be keen to match up that pressure with the Eagles, and it should be a good, hard, tough contest all night. The Eagles got to match them in that area.
Scott Cummings, who is running at 70% accuracy this year, keeps that figure up nice and high. One very good kick there to get the Eagles' first goal. Banfield quickly out of the centre. Crawford couldn't get away with it. Wrapped up in the tackle and going nowhere there. The Eagles too high.
And Terry, just confirming, Richard Taylor's back out on the ground now. He's gone back onto the ground, and there has been a report on Guy McKenna.
Thanks, Barrett. Donnelly on out towards Braun on the outer side. Works with Cousins in onto the left foot, in towards true centre half forward. Banfield slapped away by Barlow. White onto it. Pushed on out into the path of Crawford. Good handball towards Barlow. Another one into the centre of the ground. Treleaven, a chain of them, ends up with Leckis now. Hawks break forward to half forward. The lead falling in behind was Lord. Metropolis led it. McKenna with Wirrapundu. Misses the ball. Comes back again. Hawthorn in hard. Taken high advantage. Gone on. Bounced once. Twice. Running hard into it now. There's Holland. He's bundled over the boundary line. And it'll be a throw-in just 5 metres around from the behind post.
All it took was a look. Holland was on for a hand pass initially, then a kick.
So the Hawks just losing their way momentarily there. Thompson from behind. Gardner in front takes it. Handball doesn't clear the area. Taylor right back into the fray. His tackle there on Reed holds him up. Richard Taylor, a few moments sitting on the interchange bench. The umpire's in control on what is a perfect evening here in Perth. Gardner over the back. Dixon from the boundary line drags it back around. This is danger for the Eagles, but it's knocked over. Lord, in actual fact, does the knocking over, so another behind of the Hawks.
A clever snap by Dixon. Get the ball back in from the boundary line there, but again, if you can just pull it back another 10 metres, keeps the ball in play and alive.
Eagles by 4 points. Morrison will almost flicks it back. Metropolis does well. Wirrapundu slips it away. Morrison hugs the boundary with a kick. Well, the wrong side of the boundary as it turned out. Barlow to take the free. Short to Woods. Toward at the wing. A lot of energy in this game early. Woods kicks inside the 50. Good lead, good mark. Thompson. Taylor can't take a trick. Thompson's got the ball. He'll kick from about 55. Centering ball two, coming across the ground. Waiting behind. A half chance there for Rawlings. Picks it up. Hand passes away. Smith comes back to support. Long kick from Crawford. Wanders down towards the pocket. Playing in front is Dixon. White fingertips to it. That was enough. Close to the boundary. Mitchell White goes back to Jakovic. Waits. Braun now at half back to Donnelly. Feeds it back to Braun. Braun from half back drives it up towards the wing. 2 Hawks, 1 Eagle. Well played there by Chick. Knocked it back, but then again Reed did pretty well for his side too. It's out of bounds. 40 minutes till quarter time.
Dennis, just updating you with the Eagles bench. They've got Wooden, Jason Ball, Jackson Crabb and Andrew Williams sitting there.
So some of the young birds of prey waiting their chance. Gardner feeds on out. Morrison on the burst from 45. Straightens, let's go at it. That's not too bad at all. The Eagles have 2.
You're right there, good result to the West Coast Eagles, Terry. They kept the pressure on. Hawthorn had the ball inside their 50 for a fair amount of time. The Eagles really kept them under the pump. Didn't let them get any easy scoring shots until they finally ran the ball away. Philip Reed made a good contest. Daniel Chick had the numbers there, but the ball got out of bounds. Allowed the Eagles to get numbers around for the throw-in. And then they worked it very well to kick a good goal. Jaddy Morrison finding the space.
Eagles on top. They lead by 10 points. The early going from the whacker. Good bounce back in the middle. Gardner, Thompson, fell at their feet. Rintoul tries to crash the pack. Barlow in the opposite direction. Kicks inside the 50. Where Punda, very good mark. Going back with the flat of it. Took it cleanly to Cousins in space. Is it left half back? Not a particularly good kick. Braun bounces off him. He goes after it though. Regathers. Well played. Michael Braun comes away from half back. The young Victorian did well. Got it to Rintoul to Kemp. Kemp inside the 50. Cummings again. That was centimetre perfect. Had to squeeze it in there. A man coming across on the angle. Cummings coming up on the lead, and he took it on his chest. Watch the execution again from a master.
Yeah, just beautiful. Typical Dean Kemp on the left foot. Put it right in front of Cummings. McCabe there, too aware of Phil Matera. He was just tracking Phil Matera across the front of Cummings' lead. If he had had his eyes on the ball, aware of where the ball was coming from, he may have been able to get a hand on it. But Philip Matera demands that respect now.
Scott Cummings eyeing his second goal, his 79th of the season, and maybe eyeing a Coleman medal. That got to him. He tugs it left.
Disappointing result there.
Richard Taylor coming back off, yep.
He's obviously not 100%. Anthony Rock back on. But yeah, Scott Cummings, he likes to make the most of those opportunities. Beautiful still night. It's great for goal kicking, and he wants to get those early ones on the board.
He has a season best of 8 and 7 goals on 3 occasions. Conditions are ideal here this evening. Leckers for Hawthorn. Steps on out the back. Change of handball. Ends up with Barlow at half back. Kicks in towards half forward. Leading the front position. Holland that spills over the back. Dixon on out towards Rock. On the interchange bench. Kicks well to centre half forward. Contest will form. In the end there's no contest, but Morrison makes a meal of it. Banfield's there with him. McKenna's going to clean it up with Jakovic, and they steady it up at half back again. Glenn Jakovic. Ankle surgery pre-season, but has continued on this season as if it hadn't occurred. Back in his best form last week. Garrick over the back. Kemp running onto it. Just paddles the ball back to Garrick, wanting to work with him. Long handball on out the back. Donnelly from the one step into the path there. Matera, Phil Matera out in front of his opponent and lets himself down with a terrible kick into the pocket. Cummings won't be able to get much out of this one, and it's over the line, out of bounds. Reagan Tallis, one of the interchange players for Hawthorn, giving it back to the boundary umpire.
It was a terrible kick from Phil Matera, but still plenty of space in front of Scott Cummings, which is a good sign.
Eagles by 11 points, boundary throw in. Gardner grabs it, hooks it, goal, kicks their third.
Well, good response, Michael Gardner. Let Nathan Thompson slip away from him in the early contest. Thompson then went to full forward to make some leads from there. Robin went into the ruck. And now we see Thompson will come back on to contest the ruck again. And Gardner, just good body work there for a young player to be aware, and then still balanced enough to get the ball on his boot, bang it through for goal. That's a very good start to the West Coast Eagles tonight.
The Eagles kicked away last Friday night against Essendon, kicking 5 goals in the first quarter, leading in that game by 16 points at quarter time. We've got a quick 3 goals on the board here at the Wacker this evening, and here they come again. Cousins with Morrison on to the outer side. Rintoul, handball on over the path of Braun on the burst. 45, here's the kick, it's a beauty. Cummings is in excellent leading form,
isn't he? And they've kept the space there. Hawthorn renowned for pushing players back and really congesting that area, but the Eagles, when they get the ball, are moving it forward so quickly. You see there, Chick was trying to get back in front of Cummings, but the ball was moved with precision and quickly and got it to him in time. Very good start for the Eagles players, finding a bit of the ball early. Chad Morrison good in the centre, Michael Braun, and Andrew Donnelly's got a lot of it playing across half forward.
Cummings, who has been the leading goal scorer in his first year at his 2 previous clubs, make that 3. He's 78 goals to date here at the Eagles. The crowd reckons it's 79, and so it is. So Cummings has got 2 on the board, and more importantly, the Eagles midfield is feeding him beautifully.
Yeah, they are. They're moving the ball very quickly, Wills, and the centre clearances so far, the Eagles on top 3-1, which is good. It hasn't been their strong suit this year. They've taken it up to Hawthorn. inside 50s favouring the Eagles too now, and they've managed to get the goals on the board when the ball's going forward, which is always crucial. You can get that conversion on the board.
So a flying start from the West Coast Eagles, up by 23 points. Still over 10 minutes till quarter time. Another exemplary bounce in the centre. Taken away this time by Cousins. 4-1 scored in the centre square. Down inside the 50. Kemp onto the loose ball. Gave it away. Lekas shins it out towards the boundary. Chick leads in the race. Goes with the outside of the boot up towards the wing. In front is White. Gets away from Smith. Mitchell White, probing kick, back inside the 50. Harford went back with courage, tracks the ball towards the goal line and concedes a behind. Darryl Harford, a lot of guts there, knowing that Cummings was coming on the lead.
Yeah, a lot of guts here, and that's on great kick by Mitchell White. Low penetrating kick into Cummings, and Harford had to work back with pace, right in his path, did it extremely well, and certainly got the ball away from Cummings' grip.
So Jonathan Hay to bring the ball back in this time. Goes to the outer side here at the WACA. They contest at half-back at the Hawks. Barlow, his handball doesn't clear the area. Garrick finds some space from somewhere, and on 50, let's go. It's across to the far side and just the one behind. Garrick, who was on target against the Hawthorn side here last year at the WACA. 5 goals. And Taylor, for the third time this evening, runs onto the arena.
Jonathan Hay turned 20 yesterday. Former East Fremantle player. Drives it towards the outer side. Donnelly, virtually uncontested. Surrounded, but took the mark easily. Across to Morrison. Morrison does well. He deliberated on that kick. Took extra time and found White only about 25 metres out slight angle.
And a good understanding between Mitchell White and Scott Cummings. Cummings coming out in the lead, coming out strong again. Looked like he was going to be able to get to it, but just held back there when he saw Mitchell White was going to take it uncontested. And that's good team play to be aware of the teammate floating in front.
Mitchell White at the Eagles' 5th. Leans back. That was the problem, I think. Another casual. He's missed to the right-hand side, behind. Most unlike him. Normally very clinical. Just under 9 minutes till quarter time. 4-4 plays 2 points. Shane Crawford, what a season he's having. Short to the pocket. This is Hay. 26 points the margin. Humphrey Smith in the foreground there, number 13, as Hay drives it out of the back pocket. High ball towards the outer side. Bode the leaper in from the side, off hands, close to the boundary line. Taylor takes it across. It will be thrown in. Richard Taylor averaging 20 possessions a game this season. Unsung, but very effective.
And right in amongst the fray there now. Boundary throw, and the umpires pick the free kick. It's going to go to Gardner. Umpire Andrew Coates right on the spot. And so Gardner to take it some 70-75 metres out from goal. Runs on up. He's just contained on the boundary line. Then the big bloke takes them all on. Bursts onto the left foot. Wobbles in towards the forward line. But not the best executed left foot kick, I'm sure, from him.
No, he didn't have a lot of pre-plan into what he was going to do there. He got a bit confused. You see, he wanted to give it out, and then by the time he was there, Morrison was covered. Ended up having to get on his left boot.
So the ball thrown in right up against the behind post. Hawthorn under siege in defence. McCabe works with Harford. They've brought it across to this near side. Crawford's the runner. Carries the ball. He's kicked hard up against the boundary line. It's bounced inside the field of play. Only just. But I'll say, Shane, a well-executed kick.
Yeah, they're getting a fair bit of the ball midfield, Hawthorn, but just can't penetrate the Eagles' back line at the moment. Then they're pumping it straight back into their forward line, the West Coast Eagles.
Just saw Michael Collicker, number 23 for Hawthorn, come on. Straight then onto Mitchell White. Rawlings doing the ruck work. Banfield on the left foot. Just throws it out of the contest. McCabe in front. Matera does some manhandling, but he's allowed to get away from it. Kicks towards the back of the square, and Hay does well to judge the flight of the ball. Takes the mark against Cummings. But right, hemmed up against that boundary line now. His choice is only to go to that outer side.
He acknowledges that. Hay out of the back pocket then. Now the umpire's racing across there. Free kick to Hawthorn up on the defensive 50. Some hanging on.
Matera and Crawford really going at it, both giving each other a real hard time there, and Crawford the one who gets the kick.
Crawford wants to show him up. Always dangerous. Both of them very slippery. Still hasn't worked quite yet. Chick's hand pass. Well, they mess it up. Braun dragged off it. Crawford goes to ground. Eventually got it across to 11. Treleven's hand pass found Woods. Woods around the outer side. Not well worked. Gardner's got it. He's on the wing, Michael Gardner. Already bitted one goal. And thrilled us with his play-on style. There he goes down towards half forward. Gehrig. Crode came over the top, intent on destruction, and thumped it across the boundary line. 6.5 minutes till quarter time. Eagles off to a flyer, lead by 26 points. Hawthorn goalless. Tossed in, Robert and Gardner wide of the pack, taken away by Chick. Runs to centre half back, lays it off. Nicely done. Crode, good evasion, has a bounce, kicks through the centre square, down a half forward, 2-on-1 down there. The two prevail, but it only took one. McIntosh on his chest, swings it out wide. Chance for Banfield forward at the wing. Banfield down to half forward. Fraser Gehrig's got it.
Been very impressive at half forward. As John also said, it did the job last week on Matthew Lloyd, holding Lloyd to 2 goals. Now an attack, kicks well into the forward line for 11. Keeps the ball in play. Handball over the back to Crawford. For the third or fourth time, Crawford carries the ball out of defence, kicks towards the wing with Bunda in front, stands the Holland charge and takes the mark. I would expect, John, that there would have been words of encouragement from Glenn Jakovich, the player coming from behind.
Oh, there certainly would have been. Wirapunda did very well to hold his ground and take a strong mark.
Goes to Reid in the centre of the ground. Steps around, uses Jakovich on the left, now back onto the right. Wobbles it in, it's all Hawks there. Hay, Thompson, have they done it?
Yes,
they've got the mark, goodness me.
A poor kick, Glenn Jakovich. Didn't have any options short, went the torpedo, still should have been trying to pop it up, give his teammates some chance.
There's a little bit of first and second slip here at the Wacker. They're not really sure which one is going to have the ball. McCabe, again deep in defence. The kick's not a good one. And there is no breeze whatsoever here at the Wacker to have that kick go out of bounds.
Now, Taylor had found space that time, but just poor execution, and it's a turnover. Still in a dangerous situation for Hawthorn.
Michael Braun down towards right half forward. Spears the pass into Dean Kemp. Kemp has it. 65 metres from goal. Gehrig. That's an intelligent kick to that lead because Gehrig a left footer. Not impossible from here.
You'd hope there'd be a fair bit of planning in that. Both Cummings and Gehrig waiting to make a lead. It was Gehrig who made the lead into that pocket. If they've worked it out that he's a left footer, he's the one who should go. That is very smart football.
There's a Gehrig. As Terry said, 5 goals against the Hawks on this ground last season. Good in defence last week. Back after a long injury. And I tell you what, Fraser Gehrig has kicked a wonderful goal.
Oh, he certainly has. It's a good result for the West Coast Eagles. He looks like he's got that spring back in his step. And he could be a key player for the West Coast Eagles leading up to the finals. There's no doubt about that. They've really missed his presence throughout the year. And he's coming back at this stage. He gets a few games to get full fitness under his belt and really adds another dimension to the Eagles' forward line. That's one site that Mick Malthouse would be very, very happy with, him kicking goals up forward.
Gehrig gets his first. The Eagles have 5 on the board. Cummings has 2 of those. Hawthorn yet to get one. Thompson bursts out of the centre bounce, kicks to within 35 yards. Rawlings takes one across the top of the head. Play on, says the umpire. Dixon towards the boundary. Jakovich right there with him, be thrown in. But there's Jade Rawlings back behind the play. And therein it lies. Hawthorn 8 times inside 50. West Coast Eagles 16. But in those 8, Hawthorn yet to score a goal. Holland doing the ruck work for Jakovic. Two-handedly puts it down where Bunda's kick was smothered. McKenna finds some space, just gets the quick kick on out. Thompson wants to rebound it in, does so from about 45 out, probing towards the goal line. There's a mark to Dixon.
At the post, goal umpire's taken over this call.
One behind. Now there's whistles going everywhere, Bush. There's three umpires in the 10-metre square now, all conferring.
This is reassuring, isn't it?
It is, yes. Surely one of them knows what's going on.
I think there's been a free kick paid from down the ground, and that's why the other whistles were going before the marking contest.
Dixon. He's kicked Hawthorn's first. So from all that confusion by players, supporters, but arguably not the umpires, the Hawks get their first goal.
I don't know where the free kick, all three umpires were pointing at each other as though it was coming from right down the other end of the ground. So it's left us all a little bit unaware about the free kick, but no doubt it was on. It's the one that Hawthorn needed.
None the wiser, but great to see those umpires working in harmony, getting together, getting it right, or even if they got it wrong. Just over 3 minutes till quarter time.
It can be right to be wrong, perhaps.
5-4-1-2. Haven't got a clue. Crawford soccers off the ground, down towards half forward. Leading back in the race is White. Leaves it for Reed. In trouble, holding the ball surely. Barlow got him. And that's the call. Barlow forward of the wing. 34 plays 8. And the Hawks get a late goal here. Centering kick in the direction of Holland. Fisted away by McIntosh. Putting it Hawks at the drop. Picked up by Lord. Tries to pull it back. Oh, she was unlucky. Well, it wronged. It was the wrong, and it hit the wrong side of the fat goal post. But even so, it was a good effort from there. 34 plays 9. Now, at the other end of the ground, McCabe and Philip Matera getting into it, and Gehrig has come across, and now he and Crow. Meantime, back with the action, here's Metropolis across the goal face. He drives it back towards the centre square. White almost. Brilliantly done by Taylor. Great reflexes to Thompson. Clever kick out wide. It runs on though, giving the Eagles a chance, and that's all they needed. Metropolis aided by McKenna. Take it across the line. Just over 2 minutes till quarter time. And 34 plays 9.
And Dennis, the emergency umpire is almost a permanent forward pocket in the Eagles forward line at the moment. He's always down there trying to sort the guys out. Gardner has had a rest for the Eagles. Ball into the ruck.
Boundary throw in results in a scramble. So a fair bit going on, as you can see. For all of that, the emergency umpire right there, but finding it difficult to put his stamp on things. Scotty came up to help. Meanwhile, Jakovic knocks it down. Rapunda had it, dropped it. Play goes on. Suddenly, this game's got out of whack.
Sure which way to look at this stage. There is a fair bit happening. McCabe just playing Philip Matera very tight, just leaning on him. Philip Matera not comfortable with that, but the game has tightened up. Hawthorn forcing the ball forward.
So the Eagles out by 25 points, and Crawford concedes some ground back outside 50, then kicks back in. Rawlings missed it. Rintoul, the inside out handball to himself. Gathers a little bit of space away from Treleaven, kicks well along the boundary line towards the wing. Rawlings does well to cover the ground to get up there. Feints the handball, now works it with Crow. Crow kicks back, but it's all Eagles. McIntosh, virtually by himself, takes the mark in front of Barlow. Now with Reed. Runs his full quota of distance, kicks to the wing. Gehrig and Crow. Crow goes to ground. Gehrig stays upright. Phil Matera. Taylor. He hasn't been put back by that McKenna bump. He's right into it, but now the Eagles win it again. Gehrig's going nowhere. McCabe surely hanging on. The crowd want it. The umpire let it go. Crawford runs onto it again. His handball, there are a bunch of Hawks there. They stay and bunch the football. Kick towards half-back. They need to clear this particular area here. They're very much under pressure. The clock counting down. They have the run on it now. Tony Woods runs onto the ball on the wing. A bounce. They need to make something. 30 seconds of play left. To the top of the square. They fly. No one can take it. McIntosh does very well. The quick kick to the outer side. Morrison runs onto it with Reed. Eagles looking so much in control there. Reed carries the ball well. Kicks long into the half-forward line. And he finds Ball.
Good hard run by Jason Ball, running hard into the space to be an option.
Needs to move it quickly. Here comes the lead from Cummings. He's caught behind. Donnelly's got it. In game number 50 for Andrew Donnelly. And right on the siren has taken the mark.
That's a good solid mark by Donnelly. He had to get himself right in front, planted his feet, kept his eye on the ball. You see, he's the one just used his body. Got a little bit of a whack after taking the mark, but gets to have a shot after the siren, and this will make it a very good first quarter for the Eagles if he can put this one home. Hawthorn throwing up the challenge, the Eagles holding firm.
So Donnelly, his 50th game. 26-year-old during the week. He's kicked well right on the side. West Coast Eagles have kicked 6 goals in the first quarter. They've flown out of the blocks. Hawthorn have worked hard to get inside 50, but haven't been able to convert.
They've let themselves down with that last disposal going into their forward line, Wills. They've really struggled to get that one onto a player.
So at the WACA, West Coast are away.
It is Saturday night from the WACA ground in Perth. Good start by the West Coast Eagles. They lead by 31 points. Scott Cummings has booted 2 goals. Gehrig, Morrison, Gardner and Donnelly the others. And Dixon, consolation goal late in that term for the Hawks. Now after the siren, the skipper, Guy McKenna, and Scott Cummings having a bit to say to the umpires. You can see Andrew Coates having a bit to say in return. And that lingered for some time, that discussion. I'm not sure McKenna left satisfied, but certainly he got a lengthy explanation. Edwin Barrett is down on the boundary. Fired up crowd, fired up night this one, Barrett.
Oh, it sure is, Dan. Plenty of action down here. I was amongst that discussion too, and Guy McKenna just clarifying what's going on in the Eagles forward line. Wants the umpires to keep an eye on the holding and that sort of thing. Other news just confirming Guy McKenna has been reported for charging Richard Taylor. Ken Judge not very happy with the Hawks and their start. Back to you.
Can't blame him for that. Start of the second term. The breeze not a factor. The West Coast Eagles lead it by 31 points. Bad bounce this one. Comes back to Thompson. Directs it down. Hurriedly out of the centre. The kick from Woods. And in the road is Reed. Plays on immediately to Jakovic. Jakovic boots it up towards the wing. Gardner, who's run hard from the centre bounce, lays it off to Cousins. Cousins forward at the wing. Kicks inside the 50. Colliker did brilliantly. Body to body with White. Is the mark paid? Yes, it is. White pleading his case, thinking perhaps it hit the ground. Here's Chick bouncing across the defensive goal face. Little chip out towards the wing. It hangs in the air a while. Half had to wait. That was enough for Morrison. Feeds it back to McKenna. Arches the back, slides away. Hand passes across to McIntosh. McIntosh hugs the boundary with a kick. McCabe over the top of Philip Matera. Angles the punch out of bounds.
So Phil Matera has had goalless games 5 times this year. And one of those was last week. Wanting to get one on the board. The attention from McCabe is very intense. Here comes McCabe now. His handball knocked down by Kemp. Tackled very good there from Cousins on Chick. The umpire Derek Humphrey-Smith, saying there was no opportunity for Daniel Chick to get rid of it. There's the pick up. There's the tackle. So deemed no opportunity. The ball to be bounced. 60 metres out from the West Coast Eagles goal. Mark Graham didn't take his spot in the side for the Hawks this evening. Was picked on Thursday night. Hadn't overcome the stomach muscle injury. So they were that man short. Here's Braun. He's on the outer wing for the West Coast Eagles. Kicks the half forward. It floats over the top of Matera. McCabe takes the mark. A couple of disposals for him in the first quarter. For 11, who's been prolific over the last couple of weeks. Kicks into Colliker. Former East Fremantle player. Premiership side last year, but his kick's a very dangerous one towards Johnny Barker, but he takes it in front of McIntosh. Immense pressure on the mark there from Barker. Kicks in towards half forward, Banfield. On out, Metropolis quickly on Crow. Leads the race here with Gehrig. Takes it. Handballs inside to Taylor. Taylor from centre half back towards half forward.
Trying to get the ball to Crawford. Manages that. That was a good kick under the circumstances. Gave it everything. And now Crawford forward of the wing. The side in trouble. Personally having a brilliant season. Penetrating kick. McIntosh over the top. Thumps it towards the boundary. And out it goes in the right full forward pocket for the Hawks.
Dennis, the Hawks have made their 7th change for the night already. Ken Judd, 7 changes. Robin's gone on into the ruck. Anthony Rock off.
Boundary throw in. Ball thumped towards the goal square. Down goes Lord. Was he taken high? Held to him, says the umpire. He'll bounce it. About 25 metres out. Brian Nash with the footy. Number 14 puts it down. Robrin backhands it. McKenna falls over. Loose ball. Jakovic stubs his toe. Took a divot. Harford picks up the footy and didn't take the opportunity. He misses to the left-hand side.
It's not a good sign for Glenn Jakovic. He tried to kick that ball off the ground and did stub his toe and has hurt his ankle. We know how bad his ankles have been, so we hope he hasn't triggered some more damage to that.
McKenna on the outer side. The side leading by 30 points. He started the game off in fine fettle, winning the toss and then cleaning up Richard Taylor and being reported. As the consummate professional he is, he's back concentrating on the task. Rintoul from half back, kicks long to half forward. White and Colliker. Colliker does well with the left arm, down towards Harford, roves it, turns it back in towards Rodron. Hawthorn side of the centre of the ground here. He's kicked and smothered on the mark. Gardner takes the mark. Thompson takes it from Gardner. Tosses it into half forward. The contest there. McIntosh just gets in there. Crawford runs onto it. Drags it back around. The snapshot at goal. The skipper's done well. Well, does this man run hard or what?
Yeah, unbelievable hard running. And that's where Hawthorn we spoke about. That's where they're falling down there. Disposal of the ball going into their 50-metre zone has been pretty average. Again, the Eagles had the numbers, but Crawford just hard run. Had the break, only needed 1 metre, heading straight towards the boundary line, threw it on the boot. Knew where the goals were, knew what he had to do to get it through, did it, and he is leading the boys extremely well.
What a goal this was. Just a half chance. Shane Crawford deep in the pocket. Fantastic. 10 possessions tonight for Crawford. Twice this season he's had 42 against Adelaide and Fremantle in successive weeks. 6-4-2-4. Thompson. Hawks looking better now. Thompson hooked it down behind. Cousins runs onto it. Crawford brings him down, but not before he got the ball away. Braun to Kemp. Back to Braun. Wrong foot's Taylor. Goes with the left. Long kick. Gardner favoured by the kick, and that's a very strong mark. Thompson hammers the turf.
Yeah, then that's a great contest between these two young players at the moment. They're both working hard forward, manning up when they can, running off when they can. Gardner just a strong mark there. He's taken a couple of good ones already. He's had 4 kicks and 4 handballs as well as 4 marks. Thompson has had 7 kicks with 3 marks, so a great contest.
Gardner, 25 metres out, 45-degree angle, lights it off the boot, heads back towards the middle. He's got his second.
Well, 2 goals to Michael Gardner. It's a good return for the big fella. As I said, 2 promising young players, Thompson and Gardner, and they're both having a real crack at it tonight, doing their best for their sides. Gardner with those couple of goals on the board makes it a very handy contribution. You see Michael Braun there, he's working very hard as well, getting the ball forward a lot for the Eagles. And Gardner, it wasn't that occasion who's converted. Give the Eagles a very handy break.
Michael Gardner just 20 years of age. Nathan Thompson 21 years of age. Back at the centre bounce to do it all again. This is where the Eagles have been dominant, particularly in the first quarter out of the centre bounce area. Trelevin wins this one for Hawthorn into half forward. A free kick against the Hawthorn forwards. It's gone to Metropolis. His short kick into Morrison. Asked to play on now, so he dummies his way onto the outer side. Banfield on the burst. 1 bounce, kicks to the left, further on out to the side. Kemp. Left foot. It's a very good kick into White. They're using the ball well here. White, this is a great kick. It's a little high for Cummings. Bustled on out of it. Matera comes back the second time. McCabe right there with him. Hay, untidily in fact, throws his boot onto the ball. Gets it out of bounds, but probably just a touch fortunate it wasn't a mark taken by the Eagles. 30 points the difference. Crow down to Treleaven. Skips on out of the contest. Kicks towards the wing. Jakovic behind Robrin. Over the back there, Joel Smith works with Robrin. Has a little bit of time and space. Crawford coming through the centre. Couldn't take it. The pressure was just enough. Cousins does the cleaning up. Crawford and Cousins, two fine players in the game here this evening. Morrison taken, confronted by Harford. Back to Cousins. Across the body, tosses up high. Kemp does well to get to the front position. Chick spoils. Kemp again. Working with Rintoul. Tackle from Treleaven. Holds it up right on 50. The Eagles were wanting to get away. Treleaven holds all up. The ball to be bounced.
And a lot of the Eagles midfield still getting a fair bit of the football. Chad Morrison starting in the centre is getting plenty of it. He's had 11 possessions already.
Donnelly in trouble, away to White. He's been lively in the last 5 minutes. Banfield to Cousins. Off his step from 60 metres out. Crawford read it best. Free kick, advantage paid though. Crawford runs on to Crode, charging away from half back, kicking to half forward. Robrin about 80 metres from goal. Open forward line, although the player's streaming back now. Robrin centering kick, reaching over the top. Metropolis punched it about 25 metres. Camped in front, Jakovic, good evasion, feeds it back. McKenna eyes the field up ahead and uses the ball brilliantly. Geary, forward of left half back, Fraser Geary. Kicked a magical goal in the opening term. That's ambitious though. Kemp with a man right there. Chick picks it up past Kemp, draws a man in Geary who kicked the ball, goes to Robrin, back to Chick. Wider still, this is Crode. Crode kicks inside the 50. Holland in front, could have been held on to there. Smith couldn't control it, but Lux of Fortune came across to Holland. Untidy hand pass. Crawford makes it look okay. Spears a pass to the middle. But great anticipation shown there by Morrison. Sensed what was happening and stepped across to take the mark. We're punters away now. Problems for the Hawks.
White in front, no White gets there. Bustled there by Colliker. Just the last couple of metres. Colliker kept coming at it. Works with Woods. Back into half forward. McIntosh does body work against the Hawks. The Eagles have numbers back there. Cousins and Morrison working together. Cousins a kick towards Donnelly. Barker does well from behind. Gives away a free kick. Advantages for the Eagles. Braun to Kemp. Has some space on this near wing. One bounce. Hard leading from Phil Matera. Ignores that and goes for the one of Cummings. Great work by both forwards. Matera offering one option. Cummings giving the more central.
It's pretty exciting seeing Dean Kemp get the ball up the ground a little bit. He's the player who's in, and this is the difference, the way the Eagles have kicked the ball into Scott Cummings on that occasion compared to the way Hawthorn have gone forward, continually putting the ball too high and putting their teammates under pressure, making the Eagles' backline's job a lot easier than probably it should be.
Cummings, who has kicked 2 goals, 1 this evening. Very deliberate. Tony Modra out of the race for the Coleman medal. A few here tonight would have the name starting to be engraved on that medal. Scott Cummings gets his 3rd.
And again, a fair few turnovers in the last 5 minutes of play. Both sides getting the ball but coughing it up with poor disposal. But it's the Eagles who capitalise more often than Hawthorn. Hawthorn still just putting too much pressure on their forwards, kicking the ball too high, and with McIntosh, Jakovic and co down there, they're just mopping it up. The Eagles moving it quickly down to kick goals at the other end.
And what a pickup. Scotty Cummings, 80 goals on the season. His best effort against the Hawks is 7 for Port Adelaide, round 2 last season. On pace to better that tonight. He's got 3 at the moment. Gardner goes up, knocks it down. Crawford battling hard, controls it brilliantly inside the centre square. Hoisted high down towards half forward. Holland launched himself, hurt himself on the way down, too slow to get up. Meantime, Donnelly got the crumb to McKenna, to Kemp. He's looking dangerous. Uses the ball to Hawthorn. Conacher played it brilliantly. Treleaven Rogue. Away comes Leckis. Haven't seen a lot of him tonight. Chips it inside the centre square. Robran feeds it back to the middle. Taylor, 75 metres out. Sets it up towards full forward. Dixon leads back in the race. Couldn't get by Metropolis. Aided by the fat post. In a behind.
He didn't have a lot of options there, Dixon. He had to try and take Metropolis on. He thought he could have just broken that tackle. He was away. A good pressure.
So from the back pocket now, Morrison goes wider on out towards Kemp. Been busy, Dean Kemp. Disposal number 9. Jakovic misses that. Holland with Robran. Crawford. Can they make them pay here now? They're building one up on centre wing. Taylor's kicking towards the leader, Dixon. It's good. Hits Dixon, hits him hard. Oh, so does McIntosh, hit him hard. Sweeps it on out with McKenna. He floats it in towards Reid. He's in all sorts of trouble. That's surely dropping the ball, it is.
Yeah, that's a great tackle. Reid had the opportunity to quickly get the ball out and then got wrapped up. You see there, he did have the opportunity. Decided to double back. Harford wrapped him up.
Harford from inside the centre square. Goes on out to the outer side and Dixon's got it.
Yeah, a lot better set up that time going forward. They had a bit more space. Dixon made a good lead into that hole. And then the kick had to be spot on. And this time for Hawthorn it was. And they give themselves a shot at goal.
Dixon's career best is against the West Coast Eagles. 6 goals here last year. The Eagles won that match by 15 points. Also at the Wacker under lights in round 12. Dixon's 6 goals went a long way to getting them near the line. Here he is, 50 metres out, the left footer. He's given it everything. Has he given it enough? That fat post is not being friendly at all to the Hawks tonight. So another behind to the scoreboard for Hawthorn. West Coast Eagles leading 52 to 18.
Jakovic marks in the pocket, plays on now, spots ball up on the wing, it goes in that direction. Ball battling with Holland, it fell in front. Barlow tries to hand it across to Holland, still a battle. Holland over the top, Banfield in from the side, Reid, and the umpire will bounce it down. 52 plays 18, 8 minutes out from half time. The Hawks in trouble. The West Coast Eagles looking hungry tonight. Real zip and energy in their work. Ball, much maligned, knocks it down, taken by Treleaven. The high kick, not a particularly good kick inside the 50, but luckily it comes to Smith. He's through, 25 metres out, and I think he's got it. Just, he has. Joel Smith.
Well, a lot of space in the Hawthorn forward line that time. Nick Holland's actually gone up to do some of the ruck work around the ground. It's left that centre half forward open. Robran taking Jakovic out of play, and it's landed right in the hole in the centre. Smith's run onto it, and with his momentum just run straight through the Eagles' back line, banged it through, and that's a good goal to close that gap for Hawthorn.
An important goal for Hawthorn approaching half-time. Joel Smith kicks his 6th goal for the season. He's now kicked 6 goals, 10. Accuracy hasn't been with him. Hawthorn with a chance from the rebound from the centre bounce area. Crawford runs onto it on the left foot. Here's Dixon again. That's a good kick. That's a good mark. The centre bounce is just so important.
Oh, it certainly is. The Eagles actually did win the centre bounce. Banfield had it. His kick cutting into Jason Ball. Bounced back. Then Crawford's hard run to the front of the pack. He ran onto the spoilt ball. And he has got good skills. Beautiful kick with the open Hawthorn forward line, and Dixon made a good lead.
So Dixon with another opportunity to post with his last one. And he's made a real meal of that one. It doesn't make anything. Barlow keeps it back in play with the handball. Back to Dixon. Was on his left, didn't want it. Gives it to Joel Smith on his right. He's pulled it a little bit too far, and it's one behind. But Hawthorn getting in there with a chance to get a bit of a score on the board in these last 5 minutes of this first half.
Yeah, it's something there. I mean, there was no other Hawthorn player between Dixon having the shot and the player on the goal line. And I've always believed that, you know, there can be a missed kick or a kick into the man on the mark. You should have a player in between there just in case. In a situation like that, you can still make a real good contest.
The Hawks having a good patch right here. Short to McKenna in the pocket. 52-25. Next goal important in the context of this game. On report, the skipper Guy McKenna out of the back pocket goes with a spiral up towards the wing. Holland was there, punched away by the man from the back. That was Jakovic. Down goes Reed. Plenty of company. Ball up.
Good play by Reed, but we see Hawthorn. Holland's been struggling to find space away from Jakovic up forward, so he's coming up the ground, taking the ruck work here. Thompson's moved into full forward, and Robert trying to drag Jakovic away from the play.
Gehrig off the ground. Williams is on. Ball slaps it towards the boundary line. Woods did well in a tight situation. Very high ball. Only went about 30 metres. Almost a spectacular mark from Reed. Knocked across by Rintoul. Morrison headed towards the boundary. Slapped along the boundary by Wood and across the line. 52 plays 25. Fast start by the Eagles tonight. I'm sure after the week he's had, Michael Malthouse would have expected Hawthorn to come back. Speculation about his future. Confrontation with the timber workers yesterday. Most people complain to coaches about logs on the field. It's thrown in, knocked down by Robran. Down goes Harford. Sliding in Robran. Over the top goes Reed. Nicely done. Slips it back to Rintoul, who bounces it towards the boundary, and out it goes.
Dennis, going into this game, the Eagles identified Aaron Lord as a danger player. He's now off the ground, sitting on the bench, and they've rested Gehrig and Gardner. Looks like Jason Ball will just be relieving Gardner all night.
So Aaron Lord, who came off 6 goals last week, targeted by the Eagles. And at this stage, they've successfully winged the Hawk. Joel Smith stands on over it.
Aaron Lord kicked 4 goals in the first half. The first time these two teams met earlier this year. Opposed to Wirrapunda, and it was Daniel Metropolis who started on him tonight. He's done a great job.
Robran, man alone, spikes it away, going in the path of Reed, charges it down, kicks towards half forward. In front is Holland. Across half back, takes the mark. Uses McCabe some 30 metres further on. Ball still wide on this near side. McCabe goes back from where it came to Crode. Once they make a switch, they need to keep it moving, the Hawks. Crode deliberately out towards this wing. There's a pack of players flying. Ball virtually holds them all up, and it goes over the line and out of bounds.
Yeah, Chad Rintoul going for a bit of a fly that time. Jason Ball was there and in position to make the spoil. I like to see those smaller players stay on the ground.
So Rintoul, the premiership player with Adelaide, his first year with the Eagles. Leckers gets the handball on out towards Woods. Woods pressured there by Braun, slapped away by Taylor, out to the path again of Treleaven. Steps around quite well, kicks now to half forward. McKenna's leading the charge on this ball. Swallows it up as the skipper, takes control across half back. Averaging 17 disposals a game, McKenna. He's had 10 to date already in this game. Rintoul.
Hawthorn manning up a lot better. They're forcing the Eagles now to hug that boundary.
They're out there again, hard up against it. Crode, a good mark in front. Immediate look in towards the centre of the ground. Finds Holland, works there with Dixon on the left foot, out to the outer side, pushing and shoving. Crawford does very well. In a one-on-one contest, stood the ground in the front position against a relatively strong man in Banfield. The skipper from on 50 goes long, probing towards the square. He's done it. He keeps pegging him back, does the Hawthorn skipper.
Well, that's inspirational stuff, isn't it? Opposed to Drew Banfield, who should have the weight on Shane Crawford, but just push back into him using his body there. Just push back hard, then concentrated on where the ball was coming from, got his hands up, and thought, well, I'll do the job myself here. Goes back. Just a good, strong kick to bang it through and keep Hawthorn in some sort of touch. Great work by the skipper.
16 possessions now for Shane Crawford. 2 goals. Assessed it so well after the very good mark. Realised nobody was back and just got it over the line. Here he is again. Brilliant. Crode taken front on. Gets by Williams. Kicks it past Banfield. Again inside the 50 and Holland. A battle of strength against Jakovic, and the Hawk prevail. Hawthorn looking terrific now. Crawford inside the centre square, firing them up. And on the forward line, starting to take their chances. This would be a big goal. 3 minutes out from half-time. 52-31. Nick Holland should get the distance. Kicks from right on the 50. Has it got the carry? It's very close. Touched on the line by McIntosh. Not his best effort. McIntosh to bring it in. That was Holland, not McIntosh. Kicks it back outside the 50. Jakovic on his chest. 2:35 till halftime. Jakovic up towards the wing. Ball over the top. Man in front was Woods. And it's going to be paid to the Hawk, is it?
Paid to the man in front, yeah.
Fair enough.
To Woods.
To Taylor. He needs to get cracking. Took a heavy knock early in the game. He and Leckis have been pretty quiet. McKenna chopped it off, taken high. He'll get the free.
McKenna defending again. Hawthorn inside 50 16 times this second quarter. West Coast Eagles just 7. Hawks working their way back into it. Need to get the score on the board. Firstly, they need to defend this one. Crow gave it up to Banfield, courtesy of the Kemp tackle. Philip Matera overruns it. Barker loses it in the Matera tackle. They keep coming. It's a free kick to Barker. Slung in the tackle by Philip Matera after he got rid of the ball. Chip kicks on out wide. Hay provides that option. Body work here on this near side. Leckis does the tackling on Braun. It goes over the boundary line and out of bounds.
It's very interesting to see Hawthorn changing those key forwards. Jakovic playing on Robran, then on Holland, who are totally different players. Robran runs Jakovic around. Holland stands there and bodies him.
Ball, the big round arm buys some distance for his side. Woods, first man back now for Hawthorn. A little bit of space at half back. Kicks well into the centre of the ground. Holland's starting to get away at centre half forward, providing an option. Great run on the outer side by Crow. If it sits for him, it does. Tosses it back around. There's going to be a contest. 30 metres out. Skips on over the back. Guess who's there? McKenna. Works with Weirpunda. What a magician at half back is Guy McKenna. And now Braun has it. Defensive side of the wing. It kicks to half forward for the Eagles.
Finds Donnelly. Off his step. Banfield. Got behind Crawford. He's 75 metres out. Magnificent pass into Philip Matera. And he's taken the mark about 35 metres out.
Yeah, and for once, just being able to get out of the clutches of McCabe. Dummied his lead first, doubled back. Banfield looked up, saw him make the space. See there, the kick had to be spot on, and it certainly was. That's where Philip Matera wants him, out in front so he can run on. No, he's putting it up high for a small man like that.
42 goals on this season. It's been a live wire this year on the forward line. His best effort, 5 against the Western Bulldogs. And he really did sparkle. Jackson Crabb, with 35 seconds remaining in the term, comes on. Well, it is the age of the specialist. There's Matera. Kicks and kicks very nicely. Important goal, that one.
Yeah, very important goal. Hawthorn were putting the brakes on the West Coast Eagles. They are getting a lot of confidence. The Eagles fighting hard. It's been a good contest, and that occasion, McCabe has played Philip Matera extremely tight all night, but we see he dummied his lead, so when he did go, he had a good break, honoured by a good kick by Drew Banfield. And one area where Phil Matera's really improved has been his kicking for goal, and he slots that one through. That's a great kick.
Phil Matera doesn't need too many opportunities. He's kicked his first goal here, been well held to date by Luke McCabe. But now has kicked 43 goals, 17 for the season. Crow stands from the defensive side of the circle, kicks long into half forward. McIntosh and Jakovic give it up towards Joel Smith. He's rammed it home. He's made them pay. So an error, uncharacteristic error there from the Eagles' defence, and Joel Smith swoops upon it.
Yeah, it's a pressure error too. Under a lot of pressure there, the Eagles' backline. Hawthorn just keeping the numbers there, and that's a great response. Again, McIntosh coming up the ground on Holland. Jakovic there, and just Robran kept the pressure on, managed to affect the hand of Jakovic getting onto the ball, and Smith swooping onto it, making no mistake. Great answer to the Eagles' last goal.
So the dying seconds of the term, presenting a goal for Both parties in this. 9-4, 5-8. 5 seconds to go. Wait for the siren. Ball goes up, thumps it down. Crode's in the road. They need to mark it. Well, it won't come down in time. Half-time. Saturday night football from the WACA ground in Perth. And it's been a roller coaster ride. The Eagles coming out of the blocks quickly. And the Hawks enjoying their best patch from about 10 minutes into the second term and finishing strongly. Their appetite for the contest certainly heightened after quarter time. Angelo Lekis could be important in the second half. At the major break in Perth, it's 9-4, plays 5-8. Ball from the WACA ground in Perth. We welcome our viewers in South Australia as we go down to the boundary with a margin 20 points the Eagles' way. Here's Adrian Barrich with the assistant coach of Hawthorn, Chris Connolly.
Thanks, Dennis. Yes, Chris, I guess the ruck has been a problem tonight.
It was early in the game. It was more the ruck clearances that were a headache to us. But in the second quarter, we started getting top of that in that area, and it reflected on our overall gameplay.
You seem to be moving Nick Holland around a bit. What's the idea there?
Oh, we try and have a flexible team, and we're just trying to unsettle their backs. Let's say they're very experienced, very attacking, and we're just trying to mix it up a bit, put them on the back foot, and set up some attacks. And we've really had some good looks at goal. We've just got to finish off. Our disposals really hurt us in that first half.
Well, just looking at the scoreboard behind you, you've had 13 shots at goal, and I think they've had about the same. So it could be a lot more even if you had converted.
Yeah, we think that. We think we've probably broken even in general play. We've just really let ourselves down with our disposal. Probably reflects our age and where we're at as a team, but if we can get it right, we hope we can do some damage on the scoreboard.
Chris, going into this game, Aaron Lord was a danger man for the Eagles, they believed. You took him off early?
Yeah, we think we've got a lot of options up forward. It's a very difficult position to play, and we just try and give all our guys a bit of a go, and he's come off, but he struggled a little bit, but he'll bounce back.
Good on you, Chris. Thanks for joining us on Channel 7. Good luck for the rest of the match.
Thanks very much.
Thanks, Barra. The margin was 31 points at quarter time. It's now 20. That man's had 17 possessions, quite outstanding. Scott Cummings has booted 3 goals. 9-4 plays 5-8. And he's got to be a front runner for the Brownlow. Terry, you've seen a lot of the Hawks.
I have, Dennis, and he's just been so consistently hard-working and hard-running. He's picking up votes, no doubt.
Start of this second half, Hawthorn very good approaching half-time. Getting back into this. Thompson. Bounce favours his rival Gardner. He's booted a couple of goals and kicks this one out of the centre down inside the 50. Running back with the flight of the ball, Philip Matera. Awkward bounce for him. He played it brilliantly. Still he goes. Grabbed by McCabe. Slung. Slides across the goal face. Somehow Gehrig throws it on the boot and misses.
Well, that's a good start. The Eagles going forward. Gardner getting it out of the centre, getting it in there quickly. Phil Matera working hard. Gehrig working hard, but great pressure by Hawthorn as well. Under a lot of intense pressure down there to force it over the line.
So the centre bounce clearances continue to be important in the game. West Coast Eagles getting first chance at goal in this second half. Missed it. Hawthorn now on the outer side. Taylor couldn't pick the ball up. Does then the tackling on Morrison. Ball spills to Barker across the body up towards the wing. Nick Holland taps it on back over in his own favour. Jakovic sitting right there with him. The 2 big men going at it alone. There's no support. Holland eventually slaps it on out towards his direction. Harford over the top. Taken away by Metropolis. Left foot. It's all Hawthorn underneath it, and Johnny Barker takes it. Barker, the late inclusion into the Hawthorn side. Mark Graham didn't take his spot. Barker to half forward. Holland in front. Jakovic spoils very well from behind. Morrison just misses the football on the handball. Harford gives it to Trelevin. There's a chance for the Hawk. Here's Lord now. Well, it's been a tough opening half here for Aaron Lord. He has a chance now, but that turnover, very important at half-back.
Yeah, we saw one missed handball by Jakovic earlier where Smith ran on and banged home a goal. And on this occasion, it was Morrison who just missed the ball altogether, kept it in the area. Hawthorn capitalised on the turnover, go forward quickly, and it ends up with Lord.
So Lord off 6 goals last week, just the 1 behind so far this evening. He's got 1-1. The Hawks get the first of the second half.
And that's an important goal to Hawthorn. You said they really came back into the game in the second quarter, put a lot more pressure on the West Coast Eagles. To get the first goal in this half. Excellent play by Hawthorn. it starts to put a bit of pressure on the Eagles. They'll start to worry about where their next goal is coming from. They'll be looking for the next one. If Hawthorn can get it on the board, makes this game really alive.
"39 goals on the season now for Aaron Lord. As Terry mentioned, 6 last week. 4 times in his career he's booted 6. A dangerous forward. Gardner goes up, knocks it down. Crawford, Treleaven, they combine. Crawford once again. The hand pass towards half forward. Banfield got it to Cousins. Nicely done. Spotted Gardner. Gardner's at left half forward. Tries to unload. Miscues slightly. It wanders down towards the pocket. Gehrig hung in the air. Crow gathers the crumb. Stifled off the boot. They battle about 5 metres further afield. Hay reaches over the top and knocks it out of bounds. So suddenly it's back to 15 points, the margin. 59 plays 44. There's the time remaining. Packed WACA ground. Vital game for the West Coast Eagles in their run to the finals. Next week it's the Western Bulldogs away. Kemp hacks it out of midair and kicks it behind.
It was interesting listening to Chris Connolly talking about Hawthorn's disposal. We picked up on it in that first half. They really wasted their opportunities going forward. They're getting enough of the football. If they can improve their disposal, they can start to hurt the Eagles on the scoreboard.
Hay to the pocket. Lekas hasn't seen a lot of the ball. Hugs the boundary with the kick. It was precise. Barlow's got it. Still inside the defensive 50. Barlow, good last week. Sends it up towards the wing. Plenty of Eagles out there. Holland reduced to a spoiling roll. Knocked it wide. Here's Cousins onto the loose ball. Well tackled by Holland, but not before he got the hand pass away to Jakovic.
Jakovic's short one is good. Finds Morrison. So the Eagles need to keep working this one forward. Over the top handball to Braun. 70 metres out. The kick's not a good one, and he gives it up to centre half back. Barlow across that half back line. He's missed his marking. Treleaven. Treleaven makes it good though. Now works back with Hay. Hay towards the wing. A one-on-one contest on this side. Strong work there from Harper from the boundary line. Wheels it back inboard, but only as far as Cousins.
Yeah, that turnover again. Good work by Harford, but then just wastes all that hard work by giving it up.
In terms of goal scoring, the West Coast Eagles fall away in their second half throughout this year. They've kicked 19 more goals in the first half and done the second. But if Scotty Cummings is going to lead like that, and they're going to hit him like that, you think they could turn that result around.
Yeah, well, we saw just a poor kick by Harford, gave the Eagles possession again, and that time Daniel Metropolis just spearing it in to Scotty Cummings. Strong hands. That's good forward work.
And he needs to do more of that body contest inside that, because players will drop back into the space, but if you can have them having second thoughts about going back. It was always a tough hole to fill in front of Plugger. Scotty Cummings can develop some aura about him like that. Here he is, the pep distance, 45, directly in front. He dislikes his pep.
A disappointing result again. Big fella likes to get those ones on the board. Pretty easy shots at goal for Scotty Cummings, but disappointing that time.
Game number 97 for Cummings. So he is becoming an experienced player in terms of AFL football. Raiden Tallis on for his first run. Just holding it up here. This is not the sign the Hawthorn fans want to see. They'd rather see their side running from half back. Tallis kicks over the mark towards the wing. Contest. Barker gets it on down. Crawford misses it. Over the line in front of the Hawthorn skipper and a boundary throwing.
Terry, light rain just falling. The ball getting quite slippery. The West Coast bench, Ball, the relieving ruckman, Williams, Crabb and Wooden.
Margin 17 points. Boundary throw in. Gehrig knocks it down. Crawford, another possession. Barker, Tallis there too. Tallis throws it on the boot. Comes back to Crawford. Crawford under pressure. Kicks it down towards half forward. Jakovic drops the mark. Symptomatic, I think, of those greasy conditions. Away comes Metropolis. Pops it back to the wing. Releases Gehrig. He takes it. He's off. Kicks inside the 50. Here comes Cummings again. And that's a very strong mark and possibly 50. I think it will be. No, it's not.
50 centimetres. He pulled him back just on the mark. But a good strong mark, Scotty Cummings. Jonathan Hay just not body contact to strong enough to get the ball away from Cummings. So they're reaching over, trying to get a fist on the ball. I'd like to see him have some contact with Cummings' arms and shoulders as he's trying to get up, take those marks. That's about his only chance to keep the ball away.
Quite frankly, it should have been 50. Two distinct motions there. Jonathan Hay. Scotty will have to work for this one. Most of his goals and his behinds tonight have come from about this range. Just inside the 50. Kick looks pretty good off the boot. It's swinging. It's hit the post. Near the top. Where it's thinner.
Well, it did swing a fair bit, that one. He looked pretty happy with it off the boot. Started running off to celebrate, but it swung right back into that post.
3 goals through to Scott Cummings. More impressively, the 6 kicks have all come from 6 marks. Barker and Crowe. Crawford sweeps it on out wide to the run of Woods. They've worked to the wing, now into half forward. The attacking 50. Chicks in front. Does well against a pair of Eagles. Metropolis and McKenna right there with him.
Yeah, situation where 2 players there and neither one of them went really hard at the contest to make the spoil. Just that one of them really had to commit to it, the other one stay down. But both players sort of semi going for it.
Chick, who has had 25 goals, the same as Nick Holland. They sit number 2 on the list behind Aaron Lord at Hawthorn. Doesn't quite make it. Thompson's the fly. No one at the back. And a boundary throw in some 20 metres around from that behind post. West Coast Eagles out of the blocks early in the game. 6-goal first quarter and led by 31 points at quarter time. Hawthorn inaccurate. 4-5 in the second quarter. Have now continued their surge back at the Eagles. Jakovic clears it outside towards Gardner. Barlow handballs back inboard to the skipper Crawford. His left foot kick's a good one. He finds Taylor. Taylor now the lead into the forward line. A number of players there with Punda. Smith tries to go back in. Smith does well in the tackle, and there's a free kick. Well done.
Good hard tackle, Joel Smith, on Philip Reid, who just hesitated. Then when he did try to give it off, just the force, Joel Smith swinging around, the ball spills off his hand, and that's a throw.
The old lock into that sleeve of the jumper, and once you got it, whoosh, you don't let that one
you
go.
got one hand, yeah, that's it. You know you've got him.
Smith, 2 goals in the second quarter for Hawthorn. I reckon he's got 1 in this third. So Hawthorn continue to come back. They've kicked the 2 goals of this third quarter, and they've narrowed the gap now down to 12 points.
And they really have taken control of the game. It's now Hawthorn still making a few turnover errors, but getting a lot more of the ball going forward. And the Eagles just haven't looked. Scotty Cummings missing a couple of shots at goal, which are crucial, but apart from that, haven't looked like getting a shot at goal.
Joel Smith, the opportunist, 5 kicks, 3 goals, all of them in the last half hour of this game. Rucks go at it. Gardner dragged down. Woods waiting behind. High floating kick towards half forward. The Hawks attacking again. Thumped away. Taken by Reid. Hand passes over the shoulder. Collision coming up. No. Rintoul tracks the ball inside the centre square. Unloads down a half forward. Barker goes back. Takes a timely defensive mark. Barker plays on. Comes out towards the wing. Well spotted. Well kicked. Harford's got it now. Man breaking for him across the 50 is Chick. It bounces obligingly. Did he have the ball? Traps it. Werpunda. Smith right there. Slings him. Werpunda got it away. Jakovic surrounded. Close to the boundary line. Still he goes. Throws it on the boot. Miscues it. Wanders back towards the middle. Tallis reaches over the top. Knocked it down. Banfield grabs it. Comes to Wooden. Reaching in was Barker. A chance now for the crumb. It falls to Cousins. Good evasion. Big Cousins comes away. Pumps it up towards the wing. Fraser Gehrig slides in like a base runner going to second and takes it on his chest. Gehrig just forward of the wing. Kicks it down towards the attacking 50. 3 plays 2. Leading back is Hay. Cummings wanted a free. Should have tracked the ball. Picked up down there by McCabe, who must get a free kick.
Umpire Mark Nash straight in onto the spot there with Scotty Cummings.
Yeah, protect the man with his head over the ball. He didn't duck his head. knowing the tackle was coming. He had it down as he went to pick the ball up. Nothing subtle about that attack.
So the Hawks away across the half-back line. It's with Jonathan Hay. Kicks to the outer side, wanting to get to Holland. He's caught in between a pair of Hawks. Eagles gives it away now. Taylor on the burst. Probes it into half forward. Barlow flies over his head. At ground level, flicked on out to the path of Lord. All he has to do is take it across the body, hook it on the right and put it home, and he does all that. Hawthorn now kicked 6 of the last 7 goals of the game.
Oh, massive turnaround by the Hawthorn Footy Club. They've done extremely well. Their confidence is up now. They've got a real sniff of it. The Eagles a bit shell-shocked and playing the reactive footy now. Hawthorn are the ones attacking it, running hard, forcing it forward. The Eagles just trying to counter that. Makes for a great game. Big effort by Hawthorn to get back here.
Aaron Lord has 2 goals, both in this term. Just a goal in it now. 62-56. Momentum running with the Hawks. Kemp, other ideas. Gets it across to Gardner, falling to the ground. Chance for Wooden, breaks away from the centre. Long kick, but wide of the mark. It goes towards the pocket and bounces out. Or does it? Hay wants a free kick. It will be a boundary throw in.
And Scotty Cummings having a word to Josh Wooden about that disposal. Looked like he did just blaze away at goal. Cummings out in the lead. He's got to finish off with the footy a bit better than that.
Gehrig and Thompson, body to body. Gehrig, clean possession, going nowhere. Eyeball to eyeball, and a ball up.
It's interesting in the Hawthorn forward line. Guy McKenna's picking up Aaron Lord deep in there. Daniel Metropolis, who did a good job, is on Chick up the ground, and I wonder if that's just because McKenna can't keep up there.
Cousins, the snap. It's a goal. The margin is 2 goals. No, it's touched. Well, that's a big call. Cousins pleads his case to the central umpire. That's a long way from the goal umpire. Good luck to him if he got it right. Watch it again. That's all of 25 metres, but he said it was touched. He wouldn't make it up. There's Harper.
On the outer side. Not sure whether there was any assistance there from the central umpire or not. But the decision stands. Behind to the Eagles. They led by 33 points halfway through the second quarter, but since then, Hawthorn have kicked 6 of the last 7 goals of the game. It is now 7 points the difference. Weirpunda across half-back. Finds Mitchell White. Some space at half-forward. He kicks out in the path of Banfield. Traps it well with the mid up high. His kick into the pocket. Cummings does extremely well. That's a great mark. Pressure from everywhere. The kick wasn't all that good. He had to go hard and high to make it. And does it all.
And this is the one he has to kick now. He's missed the last couple of opportunities he's had. The Eagles have really needed one of those goals. They need this one. They need the full forward to be the one to kick it for them.
7 marks to Scott Cummings, coming in for his 7th kick. Of those 6 previous kicks, he's kicked 3 goals, 3. So we've put him down at 50-50 here this evening. This one starts left, stays left. It's 3 goals, 4.
Well, a lot riding on those kicks now, and that means a bit more pressure. Reasonable angle there, but for Scotty Cummings, we've seen him kicking so well this year. They're the ones he's got to kick, and goals the Eagles need now.
Yeah, I'm not sure, John, but would have he got to 3 goals straight early in the game?
Not sure, Terry.
He would have got very close to it. Yep. And so, you know, they're just saying as the pressure that Hawthorn have started to apply, Scotty Cummings has had the opportunity. Hawthorn doing it well, running it out with McCabe. They're in front there. They get the free kick to Robert against Jakovic. Advantage is played. Crawford runs on into it. He's already kicked 2 goals. Spins it back around with a handball. Barlow misses it at ground level. Wooden's tackle is very good. Weirpunda does keep it in play. Perhaps that wasn't the right decision. Here's another chance for the Hawks. Rock loses it. Drawn over the top, a boundary throw in half-back flank for the West Coast Eagles. and Anthony Rock gets up limping.
And Terry, wholesale changes down here by Mick Malthouse. 3 changes. Mitchell White has come off. Philip Matera and is about to make another one. Crab, Williams and Ball on.
8 points the margin. Rapunda right against the line there as the ball comes up towards the wing. Chance for Banfield. Pushed off it. Gardner soccers down towards half-forward. Colica put a hand in. Taken by McCabe. Bounces the ball to Harford. He's away with support. Crow, nicely done. Comes back towards the middle. Kicks it out towards right half-forward. And the mark is held by Lord, who could score. Looking for 50. McKenna, who's on report, stretches the mark. Lord with 2 goals in this term. Right at the edge of his range. He'll kick from about 55. Hawthorn storming back into this contest. They've been wonderful. Slow starters. Lord gives it everything. It's a beautiful kick. It hit the post, I think. Brushed the post. We've had a few tonight. Only the last 5 metres told the story against that one being a goal. Braun is off the ground. Short one comes in. This is Crabb.
Jackson Crabb, his first game for the year. Third round 5 last year. 3 goals with Claremont last week. Towards this out near side. Ball flies. Spills on over the top. Rintoul has some space. He takes them on the wing. Charges in. Kicks towards Cummings. It's a little bit high. Floats on over the top. There's nowhere there. Banfield charges onto it. Couldn't get the right foot onto it. Hay does very well to steal it out of the contest. Leckis, a prop kick. Crawford's underneath it. Stands his ground. Comes a second time. Wooden right there with him. Crawford slacks it on out defensively. Gets a boundary thrown inside their defensive 50. But that's a good get for the skipper.
It must be reassuring for Ken Judge watching on when the ball goes anywhere near Shane Crawford.
Well, he's now being picked up by Josh Wooden. Drew Banfield having a bit of a breather. Wooden with the big job to try and close Crawford down.
So no one's had the ball more this year than Shane Crawford in the competition. Averaging 29. He has had 23 disposals to date here this evening. Banfield can't get the kick away. The Hawks defence standing firm. Comes across the ground. Here's Garrick. Wheels around onto his left. These are the ones he likes. From 50 towards the goals, and it's gone across the face again. Another behind.
Another costly miss.
1 goal, 3 to Fraser Garrick, John.
And a good turn of pace. Crow probably should have read that he'd like to get onto his left. Covered him that way, but no sooner than you do that, then he'll go right.
Harford off his step. Puts it to a contest. Kemp did well to knock it away from Colica. Was Cousins held. Colica comes back. Applies a tackle to Kemp. And a ball up. Well, that smacked of disaster from the moment we saw Harford put his hands up. You don't like to see that. Virtually gave the West Coast Eagles a half chance. And still, they might score from it. A bounce, 20 metres out, ball in front. Holland reaches over the top. This is McCabe. Played it well. Treleaven breaks a tackle from Ball. Hand passes around the boundary. Close to the line now. Woods couldn't get it across to Holland. It trickles over the line.
And the rain getting a bit heavier down here, Den. A star-studded Eagles bench too. Mitchell White, Philip Matera, Michael Braun and Andrew Donnelly.
8 points the difference. Holland came back to him. Hand passes wide. Woods over it. Tackled by Kemp. Managed to get the kick away. Morrison running with the flight of the ball takes the mark. 5 minutes till three-quarter time. 65 plays 57. Doubleheader Saturday night. Comes back towards the middle. This is Gardner. Forward of the wing looking for Gehrig. It was too tall. Crow claimed a mark. Late whistle. Got it to Crawford. To Tallis. Treleaven had to wait. Hawthorn with the run. This is Leckers out of defence. Kicks it down towards half forward. Shielding the ball down there was Smith. Onto the crumb is McKenna. Smith takes him front on and wrestles him down. And will have a ball up about 60 metres from the attacking goal for the Hawks.
And as we said, in that first half, they wasted all those possessions. In this quarter, Hawthorn have gone inside their 57 times for 3 goals. The Eagles 12 times for no goals yet.
So efficiency with the Hawks in the third quarter. Leckis getting more of the football now than he did early in the game. That kick smothered on the line. Gehrig, was he held? He was held according to umpire Andrew Coates. The game was still in motion, says the umpire, The Eagles now through Rintoul. In towards full forward, pushing, shoving, better reading of the ball there from Jonathan Hay. Cummings caught underneath it. To the outer side, Holland covering a lot of ground. At half back for the Hawthorn side. Kicks in towards the centre wing. Robin with Jakovic. Jakovic tucks it under his arm, away he goes. Drives it in on the right foot in towards half forward again. Hay again. 2 consecutive defensive marks to Jonathan Hay. Oh. There is no one out here, Dennis. It's all Eagles. The Hawks want the boundary line. They get it.
Yeah, good result then. Holland could have gone short. Treleaven running very short for him. Probably still a bit of risk in that kick, so he went long to the boundary line, and by finding it, made it the best option.
West Coast Eagles 65, coached by Michael Malthouse. What arguably could be one of his last games for the Eagles. Hawthorn 57, coached by Ken Judge. Nominated as perhaps the next coach of the West Coast Eagles. Half forward for Hawthorn. Ball bounces. Jakovic slaps it on down towards Reid. Reid just takes his eyes off the ball. Joel Smith doesn't. He just waltzes through the contest. Kicks into the forward. Great pick up by Thompson. The big man gets right down, fingers in the mud and takes the mark.
That's a Cadbury's contender.
That is a sensational bit of work. Just working hard forward, had to make the lunge. Hit the ground hard, but wrapped it up, made sure it wasn't going to spill out. Desperation to make sure he could give his team a shot at goal. Excellent play.
So Thompson thrown in to do the ruck work over the last few weeks in the absence of Paul Salmon. But ruck work's not his only forte. Goal scoring is with him too. He's kicked 3 goals 3 times this year. That one, it's right on the goal line. Umpires a good look at it. It's one behind. Just over 2 minutes of play left in the third quarter. Hawthorn have kicked 3 goals in this third quarter. West Coast Eagles yet to get one.
Tight game of footy this one. Reid deep in the pocket. Plays on to Kent. Needs to kick it hurriedly. He does up towards the wing, but despite that doesn't waste it. Jakovic, who was winded just moments ago, comes back to Kemp. Kemp plays on immediately by hand. Reid has a bounce. Kicks inside the 50. Cummings, trouble with the lights there. Up he went with no conviction. Guess who? Crawford again. Draws a man. Treleaven gets to it on the full. Comes back to Crawford. It goes through for a behind. Not his intention.
Shane Crawford is one of the leading Hawthorn players in bringing the ball out of their defensive 50-metre line. Just works so hard back there. Starts his run from there and works hard forward, linking through the midfield. Just unbelievably fit player.
Rawlings on the ground. Meantime, Crawford short to the pocket. Margin 8 points. This is McCabe. Turned 23 last Tuesday. Big birthday week, this one. Hay 20 yesterday. Kenny Judge 41 tomorrow. Will they celebrate in style? They're on track at the moment. Momentum is running with the Hawks. They trailed by 31 points at quarter time. Kick around the outer side. Uncontested. Barker drifts in from the side, takes the mark. Can they get a late goal? Woods unchecked through the centre. Kicks it down towards half forward. Storming up the ground is Rawlings. How will it bounce? Tries to trap it. Too nimble for Jakovic. Slips it away to Rock. Just over a minute to go. Rock pulls it back to the middle. And Lord's got it. He's booted 2 goals tonight, both in this term. He's directly in front. He'll kick from about 45.
And playing extremely well. There's no doubt that Guy McKenna with that knee hasn't got the explosive pace off the mark, and Lord's using that to his advantage, staying around the footy and making those sharp leads, finding space.
A goal here, the margin will be 2 points. Lord likes it off the boot. Here come the Hawks.
Well, Hawthorn just unstoppable at the moment, really working hard forward. Adrian Barrett mentioned that the Eagles had targeted Aaron Lord as a player to stop. Daniel Metropolis did the job in the first half. This quarter so far, Guy McKenna's had the job and really struggling to contain Aaron Lord. We might see the switch where Metropolis will go back there, depending on how McKenna's knee is and how much he can run up the ground.
Well, Aaron Lord becoming the bogeyman for the West Coast Eagles. 4 goals earlier on in the year. Now has kicked 3 goals in this third quarter after being benched. Down to seconds. Tallis tries to charge his way through. They get a second chance through Harford. The Hawks are coming. Alekis is caught in the Rintoul tackle. Tallis again across the body. Needed to be in towards centre half forward more. It's pushed on out wide. There's a boundary throw in 50 metres around from Hawthorn goal.
He's under a fair bit of pressure then, Tallis. Probably could have slipped the handball out. Crawford was there waiting for him. You don't want to use too many possessions, but when your kick's going to be under pressure, give it off to a teammate in the space.
4 of Hawthorn's 7 wins this year have been come from behind wins. If they get this one, it'd be a solid performance.
Well, they just had such a slow start again tonight in that first quarter. The Eagles dominated them. Since quarter time, they've really just worked hard.
So it will be 3-quarter time once the ball is thrown in. There's the siren. And Mick Malthouse in game number 374 for him. Comes out having seen his side have a goalless third quarter. And that's the first time this year that that's occurred for the West Coast Eagles. A very rare occurrence. The last time they were goalless in the third quarter was way back in round 5 last year against Brisbane when they lost by 41. He has to be able to turn this one around now.
Having a good chat with Joshy Wooden there, who's got the big job at the moment on Shane Crawford.
So it's tightened up here at the Wacker. 2 points to difference.
ACA ground after the West Coast Eagles posted their second goalless term of the season. They moved from 9-4 to 9-12. The previous goalless quarter came back in round 1, the last quarter against the Fremantle Dockers. Scott Cummings has booted 3 goals. And more importantly, Aaron Lord picked up 3 for Hawthorn in that term.
7 Sport hope you're enjoying this match as part of the 1999 Coca-Cola AFL Premiership season.
Set for a big finish. There's Michael Malthouse, who coached his first ever final against Hawthorn in '85. Footscray lost that game. Robert Wiley is standing by down on the boundary with Adrian.
Thanks, Dan. Yes, Rob. Just stalled that quarter, the boys.
Oh, we had our opportunities, Adrian, but certainly eight behind is not a very good result for us.
Aaron Lord, a real problem there.
Oh, well, Daniel Metropolis did a pretty good job on him. He came back. He's a good player. He's a goal kicker, and he takes every opportunity he can.
And he given Josh Wooden the job again on Crawford.
Well, we'll just see how they line up, because I think Crawford was trying to pick up Cousins, so we'll just see how we go.
Okay, good on you, Rob. Thanks, mate.
Thanks, Barra. Aaron Lord, confidence player, 6 goals last week, 3 in the opening term, goalless to half-time, just the 2 kicks before he got his opening goal tonight. And certainly he's been very good for Hawthorn in this role towards perhaps an upset victory. McKenna on report, an incident in the opening couple of minutes, a collision with Richard Taylor. He'll face the tribunal during the week. In the foreground, Donnelly, who started. The other side of McKenna, Ball, who started on the bench. So, can Hawthorn win in Perth for the first time since '94 against the Eagles? And will the Eagles' hopes of a top 4 finish be severely dented right here? A must-win game for them. The Hawks have got other ideas. They've shown that tonight. Thompson to Tallis. Tallis kicks inside the 50. Hangs in the air a long time. Time enough for Jakovic to come across and take the defensive mark. Well done by the big man. Wide-eyed, he sends play up towards the wing. Good mark by Barker. He's taken a couple of them tonight. A late inclusion, plays on, breaks away a little too easily, kicks inside the 50, going back, Jakovic again, almost the mark that time. Holland to Rock, this kick for the lead, it's going to fall in short. McIntosh stood his ground, knocked it down to Kemp, away to Metropolis. Metropolis bounces it across the boundary line, right on the defensive 50.
Dan, just updating you on Guy McKenna. Yes, on the bench, as John Worsfold mentioned earlier, carrying a knee injury going into this game and was very doubtful and unlikely to go out again, I don't think.
So throwing in, Holland gives the free kick away. No,
he's got the kick, yeah. It's one of those ones we always try and pick.
Well, so Nick Holland, an opportunity from 50 metres out. The lead offered there by Rawlings, it's been ignored. So Holland's going to go for the goal. Contest you would expect to be right on the goal line. Can he get the extra metre? No, he can't. It's there to be taken. Lord steps on out. Tackled there by Metropolis. Hawthorn with the opportunity to rock. Weapunda's there. Rawlings checks him. Weapunda comes back again. Holds on the ball a long time. Eventually it's fed on out with the second handball. And pushed out by Crawford.
Looks like Jackson Crabb with the job on Crawford at this stage of the last quarter.
There is a big ask. Jackson Crabb, game number 3.
Making the switch now, no, still Crabb.
Shane Crawford, game number 134. Gardner sweeps it on over the back. Smith has first chance for the Hawks. Gives it off to the run of Woods. Brings it back into a centre half forward. Thompson got out and got it.
Well, again, just rotating those players through. Thompson, Robert and Holland have been working through the forward line. There's Thompson on a good, strong lead on that occasion. Finishes off taking the mark, but it's really unsettled all the Eagles backmen. Normally getting settled, playing and confident on one player. They haven't been able to do that tonight.
Hawthorn have not led at any stage during the evening. Thompson has kicked the 2 behinds. Can he give it to the Hawks? He's given it to them. They're in front for the first time.
Well, he's worked pretty hard. He's been up against it tonight. Started well. Gardner came back pretty strongly, kicked a couple of goals on him. Thompson has worked very hard. He's had 2 or 3 roles to play, taking the centre bounce downs, then pushing forward, starting from the goal square to make his leads. And he's done them all pretty well tonight. He's been a very handy contributor to Hawthorn, really playing a team game.
Nathan Thompson from long range, now back in the middle. As Hawthorn lead it by 4 points. What an effort. Gardner goes up. Down to Wooden. Wooden the high kick. Gains about 25 metres. There goes Thompson. Missed it. Barker didn't. Found it on the ground, then lost it. Cousins stood his ground. Breaks away. Kicks inside the 50. Cummings getting some close attention from Hay. Sliding in there, Philip Matera. Still he goes. Knocked away by Harford. Picked up by Thompson. Ricochets back to Kemp, and he's going nowhere. Handcuffed immediately, and we'll have a bounce about 35 metres out from the Eagles' attacking goal, and they trail by 4 points. Or is it? Yeah, 4 points.
The Hawthorn backline really has increased their pressure on the Eagles forward since quarter time.
Gardner hurriedly onto the boot, bounces across the goal face. All for a behind.
Taking into consideration a 6-goal first quarter to the West Coast Eagles, only 3 goals since. It's been an outstanding comeback and a lot of pressure lifted by the Hawthorn Footy Club.
Margin 3 points then. Hay straight down the middle, long kick too. The marking option was Holland, plays on immediately to Leckers. Leckers kicks towards half forward, over the top. The big leap came from Rawlings, couldn't complete the mark. Jakovic got it to Morrison, to the run of Reid. Reid on the wing goes to half forward. Gehrig is about 85 metres from goal. The short one to the run of Kemp. Needed to be precise, and it was. He's marked just inside the boundary line.
West Coast Eagles' last goals at the 25-minute mark of the second quarter. Philip Matera got that. Gardner has the chance now to get their next one. But in between these 2 potential goals, Hawthorn have put on 6.
A good kick by Dean Kemp again. Doesn't waste his disposals. Gardner led hard under pressure from Holland. Took a strong mark with a greasy ball. That was a good result. Still a lot of work to do kicking it from outside 50.
So Gardner has 2 goals. 2 goals won this evening. A double-handed drop. Kicks towards the square. Gehrig flies. McCabe goes for the boundary line and gets it, and gets just a little bit upset too. Something untoward happened there to upset Luke McCabe. Normally unflappable.
Yeah, you've got to be careful. Don't lose your cool down there. You let Cummings know he wasn't happy and controlled himself pretty well.
Cave's one of 6 Hawks to play every game. Hay brings it in. Crowd. Gehrig from the side. Comes in and takes the mark. Holland didn't go hard enough with him. Gehrig, off he goes. Wheels away to the left. Inside 50, 48 metres. It's a flat one. Here's the chance. Phil Matera round onto the right. He normally kicks these. That's no mistake. He's got another one. West Coast back in front.
Yeah, and a good response by all the teammates around Philip Matera. They know he's been working pretty hard. McCabe's done a good job. McCabe currently getting plenty of advice from Scotty Cummings about that one. But Garrick, just great pace. Kick wasn't as good as he would have liked, but Philip Matera just where he's been all year at the feet of Scotty Cummings. Read the ball well, got it on the ground, had to have a good snap, made sure of that. That's a very important goal.
Philip Matera onto this loose ball. Oh, that's a little bit earlier. That's Luke McCabe giving vent to his feelings, but it was Philip Matera onto the loose ball, getting his second goal and moving to 44 on the season and regaining the lead for the West Coast Eagles. Gardner hooks it down behind, taken by Reid, smothered up the boot brilliantly. It ricochets though across to Cousins. Cousins breaks away, looking for Cummings. Problems with the lights initially, and that should be 50, I think. He was slung after he marked the ball. That's twice now.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that there was a definite sling after he marked it. Umpire Coates having none of it. And so I suppose it's up to him to decide whether Cummings has initiated a reason to be slung. But see there, he's just taken the mark and got thrown to the ground.
Unbelievable. That's twice. At the other end, he was knocked to the ground as well.
Yeah, you're spot on. Once the player's taken the mark, any treatment that they cop after that has to be dealt with a 50-metre penalty. It's one of the main reasons that rule was brought in, to prevent players being knocked and hit and thrown after they've taken a mark.
Cummings going at his fourth right here. What an important kick. Currently the margin is 4 points. Now it's 10. The Eagles have struck back well.
They had two important goals. After taking so long to find their goal, got two fairly quick ones. Ben Cousins starting to get a bit of the ball through the midfield. You see here, just grabs it cleanly, runs a good 30 metres with the footy, puts it out in front of Scott Cummings. That's a sensational mark. Had to prop, worry about the lights, took the strong mark and finished with a very straight kick.
Cummings gets his fourth. When Scott Cummings kicked his third, the Eagles had skipped away to a 33-point lead in the second quarter. Hawthorn have worked their way back. Cummings now has his side out by 10. The Eagles swarm upon the ball here and it'll be bounced forward of the centre for Hawthorn. Craig Treleaven been a prolific ball winner over the last few weeks. He's averaged 28 disposals in the last 3 games. Quiet here this afternoon, but on 20 now. Cousins with Wepunda. Just tosses on out wide. Running onto it is Wooden, does very well. The boundary line was looming. Opposition was looming. He had to take it. He did. Goes towards Kemp. Robin gets his fist into it and it's out of bounds again. Boundary throw in.
And Terry, the Eagles starting to talk a bit more now. They were very flat during that third quarter. Ben Cousins really lifting them, and I think Fraser Garrick's going to be important.
Throwing in, Gardner in front. Arford goes to ground. Braun stays upright. Works now with Cousins. Around he goes onto the left. There's a one-on-one contest. White's in front. Colliker behind. Skips over the pair of them. Garrick comes back onto it. The tackling was very good there by Tallis. Held it up. Quick hands on by Crab out towards Banfield. He misses Garrick, and Garrick now waits, sits, comes around on the left foot, drags it back around. Hawks are there. Harford to clean it up in the back pocket. Unloads a big torp out into some space. Bounces on the wing. Running at it and meeting it. Now swooping upon it. There is Crawford taken out of it by Wooden. Eagles with quick hands. Crawford up again. Down again now with Smith. Barker. Kemp the tackler. Holds up Barker very well. You don't get away from Dean Kemp when he tackles. The leading tackler with the Eagles. Kemp now into half forward. Cummings again. Hands up, shielding the eyes from the lights. Misses the mark. Matera does a little bit extra after the ball goes. Cummings comes again. Around he comes. He's 48 metres out. He's on the right foot. He's missed. 4 goals, 5 to Scott Cummings. But more importantly, the Eagles are starting to click the scoreboard over.
4 minutes ago, the Hawks had the lead. The Eagles have responded very well after a terrible third term.
The intensity's really lifted here now. The Eagles, as Barra said, you can see that they're getting more numbers around the ball. Hawthorn still fighting hard to keep the pressure on West Coast as well.
Barker across half back. Goes out wide to Colliker. Meters in the clear. He plays on, kicks it down towards half forward. Holland's the target. Juggled attempt. Jakovic knocked it away. Taken by Wooden. Stood up in the tackle nicely. Werpunda squares it across the ground. Braun. White is running hard for him. The kick goes in that direction. How will it bounce? Obligingly enough. White comes back to the voice. Taken by Morrison. Spots Braun. Spotted Lord as well. Now he's got a problem. Still Morrison. Nice chip. Great execution under pressure. Kept his head. Kemp. Well-weighted kick. Going back Philip Matera. Good pressure from McCabe. Colliker in trouble. Tackled. Philip Matera's got it hard against the boundary line. Snaps across the goal face. Hey. He's done that a few times. Strong marks, one-on-one with Cummings. It's been a great duel. Hay puts it high towards the outer side. Gehrig muscles his opponent Crode out of it and takes the mark, and Crode is not happy. Gehrig's got it 60 metres from goal.
Big quarter by Fraser Gehrig. Really lifted and getting a lot of the footy, holding it in the Eagles forward line.
Gives it off to Josh Wooden. One of the 4 changes to the Eagles lineup this week to Kemp. Looking forward, looking for the lead. Hay and Cummings back in the goal square. Cummings has 8 marks. Hay has 8 marks. What a duel it's been. He ignores them all. Werpunda has snuck on down the ground.
What a kick.
Yeah, dangerous kick for any player. Probably only Dean Kent would get away with that. Just got their class to put it right where he wants it. If that kick was 1 metre off, the Eagles would have been in trouble. Hawthorn had the numbers if Colliker could have got a fist on that one.
David Werpunda floating down the ground. He's kicked 2 goals for the year. He has 9 career goals in his 32 games. From outside 50. He knew it was beyond him. He's gone for the big talk.
Confident talk, Wills.
Dare I say, Woosher has back pockets too. He's made a meal of it.
Again, I mean, if he wasn't going to make a distance, a kick to the top of the goal square is a lot more value than one going off the side. Low percentage kick. I enjoyed watching Paul Kelly kick one similar to that last week. But no percentage in that one for the Eagles.
Half of that of defence. Robran takes the mark. He's at left half back. Looks across the ground, told to play on. He's wide of the mark. He kicks it up towards the wing. Holland again, worked out of it. Play on's the call. Werpunda knocks it across to Cousins. Back he comes to Wooden. Wooden breaks away, kicks it up towards the wing. Good kick too. Spotted Braun. Hit the ground running. 75 metres from goal, looking for Cummings. Sensing the danger. Harford got across on the angle. He's got it up from the back pocket. Plays on now. Slips the hand pass away. This is McCabe around the outer side. Kicking towards the wing. The game very much in the balance. Hawthorn needing the next goal. Was that 50? Not according to the umpire. Not the way they've gone tonight. Crawford kicks it straight to Kemp. His 20th possession. Up towards half forward, taken by White. White on the left boot, down towards the attacking 50. Cummings in front. Hay right there. Swooping on the loose ball is Tallis. Close to the boundary line, keeps it in. Braden Tallis hugs the boundary line with a kick. Colliker on his chest. Right half back. Colliker goes for distance. They've got a 2-on-1 situation here if they can keep it going their way. Taylor did. Got it to Dixon. He's confronted. Dixon kicks inside the 50. Watch for Holland over the top. Got a hand to it. Knocked it away from Jakovic. Metropolis. Hand passes across to McIntosh. McIntosh kicks it back outside the 50. Leckers and Werpunda close to the boundary line. And out it goes. Boundary throw in.
Important ball to get across the boundary line because Hawthorn players had streamed inside their 50 into space. If Leckers had been able to gather it and get it in there, the Eagles were outnumbered.
Holland on the left hand drops it down. Morrison takes it. Trelevin, the quick kick out of the contest, favours Lord in front. Cousins gets back to support. Handball works with McIntosh. Back to Cousins. Eagles across the goal face. Boundary throw in on the outer side. Some 40 metres around from the Hawthorn goal.
still in a handy position for Hawthorn. Only 40 metres out. If they can get the ball through this corridor, they'll be having a great shot at goal.
Cousins 23 disposals. Crawford 28 disposals. Over the back, Tallis been busy since coming off the bench from 48. Drags it back around across the body, sitting underneath it and taking the mark is Barlow. Unchecked, unmanned, unmarked.
We saw that kick went out of bounds, but only 40 metres out, and it only takes one clean possession from the boundary throw-in. We see it here. It was just a high kick. Barlow worked well back into the hole. Took a good mark.
Chris Barlow. The Hawks need it. He's given it to him. So Barlow gets his first, and Hawthorn just keep coming at him.
Yeah, good response by Hawthorn. They have maintained their intensity. It's the Eagles who have lifted to match them. And the Eagles managed to sneak out to a handy lead again. Hawthorn getting that one keeps this game right on the mark. Playing extremely well still, Hawthorn, and it's going to be tight down to the finish.
Official attendance tonight, 24,882. The Wacker doesn't take too many more on football nights. Gardner goes up, slaps it behind. Here's a chance for Taylor. Gets it going Hawthorn's way. Reid with pace did well. Came across on the angle. Goes with the outside of the boot. It bounces out towards the boundary. It will not go out though. Picked up by Barlow. Taken front on there by Reid. He goes after it. Holding the ball is the call. The umpire suggesting Barlow ducked into that one. Pretty good call too. Up towards the wing. Crumbs come down to Kemp. He's been terrific. Kemp goes inside the 50. Philip Matera in front. Juggled attempt to the mark. Hand passes across to Cummings. Taken by McCabe. Front on there is Hay. Hay wrenches the ball away from Cummings. Kicks around the outer side. Cousins needs to go. Barlow takes the mark though. The man who kicked the last goal. Hawthorn down by 5 points. And he kicks it directly to Rintoul, who plays on immediately. Gets it across to Morrison. Morrison slips away from half-back. Back it comes to half-forward for the Eagles. Brilliantly done by Leckis. Spins past Kemp. Kicks it back towards half-forward. Great contest by Holland over the top. Thumps it away. And that is a great result for the Hawks.
Yeah, great work by Holland. Rintoul dropping back in his space. Holland had to come forward. Got a big, strong fist and forced it out of bounds because he certainly was outnumbered in that occasion.
There's the clock and there's the task for Hawthorn. West Coast by 5 points. 6.5 minutes of play left. A big thump puts to within 50 of the Hawthorn goal. Rotherham to half it on the burst. This kick needs to come to the top of the square. It does. Contest forms. Eagles are there. Morrison on the back pedal takes it. Metropolis wobbles on out defensively towards the boundary line. It gets there only just. But just what Daniel Metropolis wanted.
Well, Daniel Metropolis, he's a man who's back picking up Lord. We saw McKenna had to leave the ground. Chad Morrison was a good midfielder, but he's had to go back and pick up Dixon.
Rotherham and Gardner do it in the air. Crawford does it at ground level with Chick. Rotherham does well with the ball. Finds some room. 48 out. Goes at it. Doesn't bring it round enough. And another behind to Hawthorn.
Making the most of those opportunities, Hawthorn, especially from the boundary throw-ins, have really improved in those clearances.
11-11 Hawthorn, 11-15 West Coast Eagles. Reid to the wing, Rotherham and Gardner. Rotherham in the front, keeps going. McCabe steps his way out of the trouble. Across the body, Crawford does some early pushing. Misses at the ball. Jakovic is behind everybody. Cleans it up. Wobbles at the half forward. Matera attacks the ball. Right there with him is Crow. Can't find support. Colica comes in. Kemp's there in it amongst as well. If he gets it, we're in trouble. Hawthorn do extremely well. They switch it on out. Taylor now works with Harford. They need to stay in the centre corridor. Goes into half forward, but Reid's there. Propped at half back. Takes the mark by himself.
5 minutes to go. Eagles by 4 points. Their hopes of a home final. A top 4 finish riding on this one. They play the Western Bulldogs in Melbourne next week. Gehrig's got the ball on the wing. Miscues completely. It runs towards the boundary line. Hayes across. Risks everything. Kept it in. Backs off Cummings. Still he goes. Across to Colica. Off his step. He didn't have time to look, and it goes to Cousins on the outer side wing. Back come the West Coast Eagles. Short to Fraser Geary. Hand passes over the top. Taken on the outer side by Jackson Crabb, who tugs it left. It bounces just inside the boundary line. Matera scoots in, but the ball was out.
Gardner off then, ball on into the ruck, and Treleaven off and Chick on for the Hawks.
In a good game of footy, this one. Everything to play for. Boundary throw in. The Hawks looking to be spoilers here. Ball tries to emerge with it. Dragged down. Coming through is Taylor. Throws it on the boot. It goes out towards the boundary. Pitches just inside the line and runs away from Rintoul.
West Coast Eagles have only played in one game this year, which was decided by less than a goal. It was back in round 1 against Fremantle when they won by 4 points. Hawthorn have had 5 games decided by a goal or less. Their record, 2 wins, 2 losses and a draw. Robin in the ruck. Crawford at ground level. Banfield, Kemp, Cousins on the left foot, brings it back in. Matera has to do the flying work. Does enough to spoil Croydon. It's out of bounds. Boundary throwing 30 metres around.
Hasn't Kemp been so clean?
He's been very good tonight. Just used the ball so well. Fraser Gery's had a big quarter. He's now up to 10 marks. Enjoying his run on the forward line.
And Kemp averages 15 disposals. Tonight he's had 14 kicks, 8 handballs. Make that 15 and 8. And this is not a bad one either. Puts real pressure on the Hawks' defence. Cummings stays upright. Can't get to the rebound ball. And in front of him it goes over the line and out of bounds. Anthony Rock preparing to come on. And it looks like Barlow, the player, coming off.
What a thriller. Ball to Kemp, and Kemp is upended. It bounces through from behind. Great pressure there. A couple of desperate Hawks got to the veteran.
Yeah, it looked like it was through. Almost through the gap, but good pressure. And good pressure not to give away a free kick. Pushed him in the side.
Who'll run it out best? Here's Chick in the back pocket. 3.5 minutes to go. 82 plays 77. Chick driving it up towards the wing. Ball's in front. Knocked down. Here's an opportunity for Crawford. Slips away then. Crawford kicking up towards the wing. Missed by Holland. Waiting behind, a chance there for Rintoul. Back towards Ball. He was high. Robrin took too long. Geary got to him. Good tackle by Harford. Ball comes down to Ball. Kicks down towards the attacking 50. Up comes White. Missed it. Pollock gets the hand pass away. This is Crode. And a great chance here for the Hawks.
Away they go. Rock's the one on it. Crawford's in support. Rock goes over the top towards Holland. He busts the pack open. They need ground support. It's not there. Morrison relieves the pressure for the Eagles only momentarily.
This time Crawford should get it.
Rock bounces it towards Crawford. Feints the handball. Then honours it over to Dixon. He's a left footer. He does it on the right foot. He's gone at it. It's gone across the square. Lord can't take it. That's one behind.
Well, big opportunity missed. I mean, Crawford was the man it should have gone to the first time going in. Rock elected to kick it to the contest. Really missed a good opportunity. And on that occasion, feeding the ball out to Dixon, who was on his wrong foot.
4 points to difference. Under 2.5 minutes of play left. David Weirpunda with the ball. He chip kicks in dangerously so. Thompson bearing down upon Cousins. Harford there with him. Thompson comes again. Hawthorn get a sniff here. Harford back on out to Crawford, to Woods. Could he be an unlikely goal scorer? Tony Woods goes long, strong. It's hard. The Hawks are up in front.
Unbelievable football by Hawthorn. They have just been so desperate, so disciplined since quarter time. Got shell-shocked by the Eagles in that first quarter. Look at the desperation, just putting a hand in every occasion. Harford working really well. Cool handball away. Eventually got it to Woods. Didn't have a good look at the goals. That was under pressure. That high kick floating through to put Hawthorn in front. Sensational effort by the Hawks.
The margin was 31 points at the first break. What a comeback by the Hawks. They're in front now, just under 2 minutes to go. And the finals dreams of the West Coast Eagles unravelling at the moment. Ball got it down to Cousins. Kicks to half forward. Still time enough though. Gehrig stood up in the tackle. Braun tries to crash his way through. Wood slides in. Hand passes away to Chick. And a free kick is going to the Hawks. It'll be taken by Woods, who kicked that last goal. He's at left half back. Maybe the left arm. The Fraser Gehrig just sliding up high there. Here's Woods. Kenny Judge is headed down towards the boundary. Running past us as Woods boots it up towards the wing. Jakovic from behind. Strong grab. A minute 12 to go. Jakovic on the wing. His side down by 2 points. Driving towards centre half forward. White is there. Colliker flies from behind. Banfield hit the loose ball. Kicks it down towards full forward. Turns the defence around. Hay leads back in the race. Grabs it. Kicks towards the pocket. Will he run it out of bounds? He has. Clock stops at 51 seconds.
What a wonderful contest between Jonathan Hay and Scott Cummings it's been. Cummings, he's had opportunities, 4 goals, 5, but Jonathan Hay's had 16 disposals, 8 marks, and he's been timely.
Bear in mind the Bulldogs have had a draw this season. They drew with the Hawks. The ball is out of bounds on the 50. And their percentage slightly inferior coming into this round to the West Coast Eagles. Those two sides will meet next week. Hard to see a draw from here though. 2 points the difference. Boundary throw in on the 50. Can the Eagles muster a late goal? Chick knocks it down. Harford spins out of a tackle. We're down at 38 seconds. Kicks up to the wing. Wapundu is up. Couldn't complete the mark. Coming through is Smith. In the opposite direction is Cousins. Kept it going initially. Taylor grabs the ball. Kicks it down towards half forward. Morrison knocked away from Dixon. The crumb comes to Smith. Wrong foots Cousins. Pulls it back towards the middle. Down to 20 seconds. No time to waste. McIntosh is away. Kicks it out towards the wing. Rock is there. Coming back hard is Reed. Reed picks up the crumb. 9 seconds to go. Reed's away, running down towards half forward. Pulls out. Rock's another. Colliker dives across the boot. That's it. Rock gets the hand pass to Holland. Holland kicks from half back. What a victory to the Hawks. What a victory. Kenny Judge ran past us moments ago. There is spring in his step now as he goes out onto the whacker. The most unlikely victory, the one that got away. That hurts the West Coast Eagles. That really hurts them. And the Hawks are celebrating. They haven't won in Perth against the Eagles since '94. And they win by 2 points, 84-82. And what a terrific game of football.